Hey guys, Lemon02, getting ready to play in the 100 card singleton event, just on the coattails of the tribal event. We're playing with a deck you've seen before. I have not changed it much. This is a Grixis Delve deck. It's an aggro control deck, essentially, utilizing Delve threats and counter magic to stay alive. Of note, only one card change in the main deck, and I believe none in the board. We changed out the Kalitas for Dismiss. To kind of get better answers against Planeswalkers. Plus, I just haven't been impressed by Kalitas in this deck. I just, I feel like, when you run this few threats, like the removal is going to be plentiful in their hand, and you're generally not going to be able to get value out of it because 4 mana is quite a bit, unless you can, like, cast it and protect it. But I feel like this deck's probably going to be fighting from behind more in the current meta. I don't know. Decent board hate against red deck wins, against white weenie, against green decks. What are we hoping not to see? I don't know. We're just going to have fun today. I didn't do much to this deck. I enjoy playing it, and I think it should be a good time. We'll see, though. Hopefully we can put up a good result as well. I think the deck's pretty solid, but I don't know. Probably a 2-1 finish would be my guess out of this deck. But we'll see. We could just go 0-3. So I'm going to go on a quick pause, guys, until the actual matches start, and then I'll jump back in. Not started, however, this one has. We're going to see White Weenie versus whatever Michelle is on. Some sort of Delve deck. Or maybe it's just a blue-black control probe. Oof. It's a nasty one. I think that's in the same cycle as Dismantling Blow. Pretty cool cards. Very expensive, though. Alright, Darkwater Catacombs. This makes me think that she's on a 2-color deck. Counter magic is up. This will likely transform into a 3/3, which she could kill at end step if you cast nothing else. My assumption would be she has a mana leak or a miscalc or something along those lines in her hand, though, to stop whatever it is he plays. Really checking this match out more because I'm interested to see what Michelle is on. The problem's going to be here if you cast 2 threats. Always watching is fine. I think you do counter that, though. Yeah, mana leak or miscalc. What do we have here? Could just be a negate. Impulse. Interesting. Well, she's either impulsing for land or gas. I kind of think it's probably land, but I don't know. I do not know. Lands like a Darkwater Catacombs are always risky because if you get stuck with like just one of those or like one in one other land, you get wastelanded, then like it just does nothing on its own. It really needs. I mean, they're obviously infinitely worse than the newer filter lands that are available to us as players. Okay, takes 4. It's a significant chunk of damage. Although she's at 8 cards, he is on 4. Well, if she has sweepers, then this could be good. That's why I like always watching is kind of a weaker card in my opinion. I mean, it can definitely get a lot of early damage. It has a lot of early damage potential in it. Okay, what are we gonna see here? Like a True Name Nemesis or something? Alright, a Buried Alive. Alright, well, she's reanimating fat. Well, that could be a dicey for the White Weenie deck. I don't know how much disruption he has against it. Could just go Containment Priest in her turn when she tries to reanimate some fat back. So she's reanimating. Sweet. Alright, so I kind of do like Probe in this deck. That's pretty sweet. Obviously Thought Scour, good one too, making a lot of sense. Iona probably just wins the game. Elesh Norn probably just wins the game. Alright, well, and I also like the fact that it appears that she can cast all of her fatties as well. We're going to see a board dump this turn, although the Iona, or the Elesh Norn and the Iona could both just outrace this. If she's putting an Iona into play, I think the game is over. Like, I can't think of, like, what he could have. I guess, like, I don't know. Like, it just buys her so much time. Like, he needs to, like, pretty much put in, like, 3 1-drop plays to race it. He'll get 4 more in here, down to 11. But Iona is such a fast clock. It's not a matchup that the White Weenie player wants to see. Although I assume they have some board against it. I would assume they're running, cards like Rest in Peace, Samurai of the Pale Curtain, maybe. I don't really see that one as often, although I do run it for this matchup. I also run a Containment Priest main, which I think it tends to be strong. I mean, especially if you're running Parallax Wave plus Flicker Wisp main, the ability just to exile one of their creatures, like, you know, turn Flicker Wisp into a 3/1 kill spell. Essentially a much better version when the other cards in play of that's a 4/2. That's a lot of damage coming in. It basically makes it a much better version of cards like Shriek Maw or Bone Split or Bone Shredder. 4 down to 11. So getting the beats in takes 1. I would assume if she can reanimate here, she reanimates. Does she have? What does she need all this mana for? Well, maybe she has a board wipe and then she's going to go into an Burial Rites. Could be. Well, no, we do not have Graveyard Hate ourselves, but we have a lot of counter magic. Interesting. Alright, Zombify on Iona. Naming a white, I would presume. This is zombie. No, it's not. It just comes into play. That's probably the game. I don't presume there's much that he can cast here to stop any of this. You can get him for 4 more damage, but that doesn't really do it. She doesn't have to attack here. I like her play there. I mean, she could have been greedy and gone for the Sheldred, but if he has any 1 mana removal or any, like Council's Judgment or something, then he can just answer it, and then that's probably going to be a good game because it's a lot of damage coming through to her. But at this point, I think he can just concede. I don't think there's much you can do unless you have, like, maybe a sword. Like, if he had, let's say he has Sword of War and Peace, that could do it here. If he does, he probably attacks with both. And then plays the Sword of War and Peace out. Yeah, not looking good. Oh, is C4 playing this one? I didn't see what the final lineup of players was. Let's take a look here. No, C4 is not playing today, but he's watching. I would presume you don't put it into play tapped. And what do we have here? Another reanimation spell? If we do... Academy Rector. Well, no one wants to attack into that thing. That means that, like, I don't know. It could be anything. Animate Dead, whatever. You name it. Could come into play. And I think she wisely stays back. I mean, what's the rush? There's no rush here, really. Although, like, the most value play is, like, she plays a Recurring Nightmare, sacrificing the Academy Rector. Yeah, there's definitely no attacks now. Like, unless you want to see a Sheldred or an Elish Norn come into play. Elish Norn takes out the Paladin, the Accorder, as well. And frankly, eventually the Unholy Fiend will kill Michelle. Well, I wonder where Sensei's at. I did not notice that. I guess he was supposed to drop. Well, I guess I got a free win round 1, which I guess is fine. I mean, you don't want to win that way, but yeah, I guess Sensei dropped. All right, verify match report. It stinks. We're gonna drop this one. Yeah, we'll just continue to record these matches. At this point, though, all right, yeah, this is game over. Let's check out this one. Let's see how Dots and ML are faring. All right, well, ML is on what appears to be a mono blue deck, which I don't think is going to tend to do extremely well against this deck. He missed his land drop. Okay. 6 cards to 7. I think mono blue is going to have a tough time against that deck. All right, well, there's a Sheldred in play. I don't think it matters. Is there an answer to this? He could go like Oblivion Stone land, Oblivion Stone everything the following turn, and then maybe win. Still pretty dubious. I presume his hate is pretty strong board, though. So, what's going on over here? Not this one. This one. Okay, well, he's developing his mana base, but he's down to 5 cards. What threat spells does he have? ML, if he's going to play control, really needs to get up on lands. Just going to activate this. Which, once it's turned sideways, I don't mind. I think maybe you tech edge there. Tech edge end step. No, you should have tech edge there, I think. I don't know. You obviously need to put that into play tapped. And it's go time. Okay. Well, there's the Sword of Fire and Ice. That's what I was saying. Like, if he got like a Sword of War and Peace, he could possibly like use that to win. But like now, it's just the clock is monumental. You know, this clock is just way too much. That's lethal. Yeah, it is. He can block it. Obviously, he can block the Sheldred out. There's no Urborg in play. Seems a little bit ambitious to continue to play this out, though. Yeah. Yeah, that's what can happen. That right there is the end of the game. Unless he can Wrath the board. But even then, like, he needs to put a threat into play. And he's drawing an extra card every turn. This card is spooky. This card is very spooky to me. It's a very difficult card to beat. And I don't think ML will beat it here. I think he's probably going to lose to it. Once someone's been declared the Monarch and they're the attacking deck. Okay. Well, that's not bad. That's a start. I mean, I don't think the Sower is going to live. I think the likelihood that the Sower lives is pretty low. But, you know, Dots is still going to draw a card, but if this manages to go unmolested, which I doubt is true, that's probably Lightning Helix. No. Johnny, Vengeant, targeting Sower. Yeah, okay. The way he tapped, it was one of those two cards. So Sower gets blown up here. Yep. And that's probably the game. That is probably the game, guys. Not probably. It is. I just don't see how he answers an additional card every turn. Probably another threat here, plus a Planeswalker threat in play. That's pretty extensive. Alright, well, he activates his Manland. Could go, now, back to basics doesn't even do it. Like, back to basics is fine, but he's just going to draw out of it. Well, what have you got? Yeah, Michelle definitely won that one. Let's, is there anything you can do this turn? I can't think of what it would be. Not 8 cards. No, I think this one is over. Is this the last game in this match, though? That's kind of what my question is. You have an Oblivion Ring? It's really not doing it, though. No, it's a Core Sanctifiers. Can do pretty much nothing. Yeah, this one's over, guys. I'm going to go ahead and X this one out, and we're going to check out Golden Lynn versus Michelle's match. If they're... Well, I guess they're boarding. Alright, well, we'll wait. Well... What is this? A Shriek Maw? Fair. I mean, like I said, it doesn't really matter what he casts from this point. Like, he's drawing so many additional cards, and he can keep the white mana off the board, and he, that's just game. Marchesa is basically like playing against a non-blue Jace the Mind Sculptor. And that's how you gotta kind of look at Marchesa. If you can play Mardu colors pretty reliably, then, you're probably going to win. Now, if ML he should be thinking of his board plan right now because he can't win here, especially if he's not making a land drop this turn. If he has a board plan that includes back to basics, he should run it. People have asked me how you beat this deck, and I think there's a couple ways. Either out control it, or you out aggro it, which is difficult. It's pretty good at gaining life and has very aggro cards itself, or you just destroy its mana base. If he can't, and his mana base is very ambitious, as you can tell. It's very, very greedy. But at the end of the day, it's casting, very efficient cards. The most efficient cards probably in the game, outside of the blue ones. So I think how you beat this deck is you wreck its mana base. If it can't cast its spells, it can't win. Runs a lot of mana dorks for that reason, but in a deck like I presume ML is playing, he's got Wrath effects. This is desperation right here. It's still going to take 6, and you're still dead the next turn, so you might as well just take the 2. I guess it keeps him out of bolt range, but there aren't really good draws unless, Terminus, but his white mana is cut off from him. So that's probably GG's there, especially as he's drawing more and more cards. Another threat is a Vindicate. Yeah, on the land. I don't know if that's necessary, but, sure. The game is still likely very over. Alright, so let's X out of this one. We'll be able to tell soon if that was a game 1 or game 2. I presume it was a game 2, just with how the games developed when I jumped into it. Well, no turn 1 or turn 2 play out of the white weenie player, I think tends to favor Michelle. If he wants to win this, he needs to have a good early start and then back it up with some disruption. Could just have like a Containment Priest in hand and just be waiting to blow her out. I presume she runs some removal in there. I assume she's more of a controlling version of Reanimator, not all in. Although, she has some clunker cards. She does have cards like Sheldred and Elish Norn that, realistically you're not casting. Unless you're countering a bunch of stuff, which she may have a bunch of counters, I don't know. Haven't really seen enough for deck. I've just seen Zombify, Academy Rector, and Animate Dead. That's a good card against her. She has counter magic. She wants to get that, I think, because that card it is a beating. Like, that is one of the best cards that's been printed in a long time. Most busted cards, I guess. You say good cards, I guess, I should caveat it with most busted. I wouldn't say it's, from a design standpoint, a great card. I think it's probably too good, but that's just me. I think Smuggler's Copter is close to... in the mirror, it just makes aggro decks run so much better. It takes away all the bad parts of running an aggro deck, which is that, you're relying on the top of your deck. You could just flood, and it's just an efficient threat at the end of the day, and it's resilient. So, it's just a very strong card. I think we're going to see a counterspell here, would be my guess. Well, what are you doing, Michelle? And let's see if that other game is complete. Yeah, that was the game 2, so it looks like an 0-2 beating for ML. And Michelle may take it away. I don't know what else she's running in there. I'm on Grixis, like I showed you guys in the beginning. I don't know what she's on, or how much counter magic she's on. Yeah, Vindicate a land. Yeah, makes sense. Do you have more to play yourself? So I don't know if I like that, because, he could just draw 1-drop and be like, bam, here you go. No? Huh, interesting. Well, sometimes all you need is a Stone Rain. She could just be waiting to discard as well and then reanimate some fat. Here's the 1-drop. A Mardu, a War, a Reaper. That's actually a good card against her. It's not a horrendous one, because it does have some random, goodness against Reanimator. All right, a Thirst for Knowledge. Probably lamenting having played out the Mardu War Reaper now, because I assume she's going to dump fat. There's a Gristlebrand and a Jin Gitaxias. Well, at a minimum, if she has the reanimation capability, she's going to draw a billion cards, one way or another. Well, I think I kind of like the Jin Gitaxias play. Although I think you have to assume that he has some removal in hand. It could even be the 1-mana variety, because he certainly does not have creatures. Alright, well, she does not have the ability to cast reanimation effect this turn. Okay. Griff's a boon? Well, it's a clock. It's not a very fast one, but I don't know what his warrior count is in the deck, but obviously Michelle needs to be a little bit leery about that. Well, what do you got? Thought Scour? Brainstorm. I wonder why she didn't do that on her turn. I guess she just wanted to play that land out. Well, I think if she found like a Reanimator and Animate Dead, she would have wanted to cast it last turn. I think, but I don't know. I think I would have cast it on my turn. It's not like he has discard where you want to protect yourself from it. And there's a Caracas, so she's hitting her land. I assume we're going to see some fatbacks come into play now. It's like a Necromancy or a Zombify again. And I think as soon as that happens, the game has ended. I don't think he can reliably beat this. All right, a Dread Return, targeting Gristle Brando. I actually think I like Jin Gitaxias better. But I don't know. Could be wrong on that. Like, I just feel like Jin Gitaxi is going to get you more places. Yeah, I mean, if he's playing stuff like this, Jin Gitaxi should lead his hand. Like, once his hand's gone, then he's off the top deck. Like, I mean, like, there's no good top decks where he's on 2-man. I mean, like, there are, I suppose, like, but they're just like little guys like Council's Lieutenant, you know, which are just not quite where it's at, in my opinion. Draw? No, okay. Well, she wants to see your draw step. I'm gonna attack in here. Get in there with the Griselbrand. I think you draw here and see if you can get the Jin in play. Of note, this is like one of those draws where she could actually mill herself. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen before she kills him, which I think she is most certainly going to do. I don't think he can win this, very realistically. All right, a Dance of the Dead, targeting, I would assume, a Jin Gitaxias. I was going to draw infinite cards. She has the ability to return with Caracas either of these two critters. And, yeah, I don't know what he can do here. Like, double removal, but, like, then she's bouncing one of them back to hand. Iona's in the graveyard. There's a Dread Return. Although, I wonder how good Dread Return is. Maybe she runs... Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's just, like, fat. Just mono fatbacks in the graveyard. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she's been able to sculpt her hand, you know, through 14 cards. She could have been like 21 or 28 cards at this point if she had so desired. She'd obviously be at a lower life total. And she's kind of saying, hey, go ahead and attack me here. A land tax. And that's just mildly interesting because the hand is going to get deleted every turn. So really, he's just going to get one free land off of it because he can only play one a turn. Might as well attack. Although, like, you're just dead on the backswing, aren't you? Yeah, it's 13, so, like, reasonably speaking, you can't attack here. You attack with one of them. But if she has the removal, yeah, he stays back to block, which makes sense to me. And discard your whole hand, which is, you know, that's what Jin Gitaxias does. Yeah, just a whole bunch of 3-mana junk. Well, okay. And she probably untaps here. Obviously, he could double block with his two things and kill the Jin Gitaxias, but the damage has already been done. No cards in hand. Land tax is not bad. I mean, it's going to allow you to draw a lot of lands, but if the Jin stays in play, it's really only drawing one additional card a turn. I don't think the cards are on power parity between these two decks. She ditched Reanimation, which means she still has some in hand. Well, about the only way I see this not being a loss is if, like, he gets the 3 lands with the land tax and then draws Crackdown. Double blocks there, which I would be fine with if I were her. I'd be like, yeah, okay. I'll kill both of them. You should reanimate something else. Probably like an Iona. Reanimating the Iona seems pretty good here. I guess she's not going to. Wonder why she didn't keep the Diabolic Servitude then. She must have counter magic. But like if you play Iona, like there's nothing he can really do. Well, hey guys, I'm going to leave it. You know what? I'm just going to stop this. This is kind of nonsense at this point. I'm going to use the restroom real fast. If they're still playing when I get back, then we'll continue to watch. But this game is pretty over, guys. You know, you can kind of see. Well, we're back. It looks like somehow her Griselbrand died. Oh, she must have returned it. He must have drawn removal. No? Why is the Griselbrand gone then? Don't know what happened there. She returned it for some odd reason. Couldn't tell you why. I mean, she could just fire up her Creeping Tar Pit and kill him. Well, Burial Rites means she can reanimate something. I don't know why she's not just getting the Iona. If you get the Iona, you just win the game. Yeah, she should have won this turn, I think. She did return the Gristlebrand to hand after drawing cards, I suppose. So she is more of a controlling variant of Reanimator. You see Wrath of God. Not a lot of counter magic or permission. It looks like more board control. Obviously, she has some. I think we saw her counter one spell. Yeah, Condescend. More board control, though. Which is fine, because I tend to think that like decks like this, I feel like Grixis can beat a deck like this because I have higher counter magic. I have higher permission capability. Yeah, Near Heath, Pilgrim, which is going to keep him alive for an additional turn. Although, how does it not keep him alive? Does this thing have haste? No. No, it does not. I think you just bring back the Iona and just call it good here. Oh, she's gonna, okay. She's gonna hit the Near Heath up. It made me feel pretty silly, though, if, I don't think he could have anything other than, no, he can't. Alright, so he has exactly 5 lands in hand. So we know he does not have... Yeah, I'd fire that thing up. Yeah, you might as well. There's no miracle way that he has an answer to it. Oh, I see why she flipped it, because Caracas is in play. That makes sense. So he has 5 lands in play. And good games, yep. Alright, guys. Well, we're going to go on a pause until our next match, and then we'll be right back, okay? Alright, well, this is Dots versus Goldenlin. We're playing against Michelle Wong. She hasn't come to the table yet, so we're going to leave it up. Alright, we'll see a turn 1 play. It's not a bad one against Dots. And I'd rather play Goldenlin than Dots, although I think Dots is favored in this matchup. It'll just depend on his keeps. He has 7 cards, though, which means I think he kept probably a decent hand. If Goldenlin can out-aggro him, though, may be able to win. No. Not my idea of an extremely aggressive 2-drop. Doesn't really attack very well. Although over time, I suppose it could add up. Could just get Arc Trail down here, though. Okay. What is this? A Mother of Runes? Could be. Although Gideon's Lawkeeper provides some interesting options against that. Alright, a Swords to Plowshares. Alright, well, we're going to jump out of that game. Our match has started. And I managed to catch it. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. I think we lead off with the Temple... No, the Crumbling Necropolis, more than likely. Well, do you have a turn 1 play? We're hoping that she doesn't have an extremely fast start, because I think what I'm going to do here... Unless I draw another untapped land. Well, that's a solid one. I think what I'm going to do here is this. I am going to duress her turn 1. Just to see what's going on over there. Alright. Get rid of the Liliana. I want to be the only one casting that card. Because that card is busted. Okay, Colonnade. Get a Badlands here. And go. Force her to Wrath of God here, I think. She'll cast down her Celestial, or correction, her Skull. Well, if she has an answer to this thing. She may, but I think she'll cast down her Coalition Relic. And then be forced to just take out my Dwarven Miner with a Wrath of God, which is like taking out one guy with a bazooka. Yep. Alright, Coalition Relic. Yep. We'll get Volcanic Island here. Given our options are pretty slim anyways. I know we probably should take out the caves, but she already has mana fixing. I'm going to take out the man land. Yep, that's fine. You can cast your Wog next turn if you like. And the question is, do I leave up the Miscalc or do I play the Liliana out? Yep. Okay, Wrath of God, getting one creature. Okey-doke. I think here I'm going to leave up the Miscalc, actually. Use this first to see what is available to me. I actually kind of like that. I will choose myself. Well, this is a series of very strong top decks. I think what I want here is this. I think I want to hit this land. No. And I'll leave up Miscalc. And then next turn, if she doesn't cast anything worthwhile, I can cast the Liliana and then leave up Miscalc, which is nice, although she's on a lot of mana. She does not have a fatty in the graveyard, though. And I feel pretty good about the Dwarven Blast Miner sucking up a compulsive research. Do I counter this? I think I do. It's card advantage. And I think Miscalc is going to very rapidly lose its ability to impact the game. And actually, I misspoke. I cannot. I'll play this out and say go, and then leave up both Cryptic Command and Factor Fiction. Yep. Well, I got a lot of mana. Okie doke. Give a Planeswalker threat. Hopefully it's just past the turn. If it is, then I can just go for the Factor Fiction. If she counters it, well, oh well. Serum Vision's on the top. Yeah, that's fine. That I do not care about. That does nothing. That, on the other hand, I do care about. Don't want her to loot. If she has a counter for this, oh well. Okay. No, Gristlebrand in the yard. She may get us here. Okay. Let's see what our options are off the top ropes. I'm going to bottom that and top this. And we're just going to force her to discard here. Can build back card advantage pretty rapidly, I think. I'll get rid of the Watery Grave. Leave up the Snare. If like we Mise and she has like, you know, an Animate Dead, we could get her. But if she has like a Necromancy or Zombify, we're going to be in some trouble. Yep. But the Factor Fiction, now if it's Gristlebrand specifically she gets back, then we're in trouble. Alright, Eternal Dragon, that card does not scare me. At least not in this position. She's going to get it back. Okay. That's cool. She can build card advantage that way. And it helps kind of... okay, she doesn't have Reanimation in hand. Cool. Good to know. You get a mana off of that, I think. Yep. I think it's going to go to waste, though. Well, she has a land, and then she could do a 2-drop, but then I'll spell snare it. No, that's a man land, though, which is problematic against Liliana. Well, we're going to force her to sack this thing here because it makes her want to activate on the following turn, I think. And I don't know what I'm going to find with the Fact or Fiction, but it could be something that answers the Shambling Vent if that's the option she goes for. Could just lose. It's going to come down to mising for her, I think. If she mises a good reanimation spell. And the question becomes, what do I have? Do I have a reanimation effect? Or do I have counter magic? I think we're going to see her activate her Shambling Vent here. Yep. Okay. Okay. I'll wait for her to turn it sideways, then I'll Fact or Fiction. Well, all of these cards look pretty darn good to me. I'm going to lose Liliana, which stinks. But to be honest, like I kind of like my hand. That all by itself. And that. I think I like the Miner plus the counter spell better. Yep, I lose Liliana, but I'm up a bunch of cards now. Two drop would be nice to counter here. Nope, just plain cycling, okay. Okie doke. Oh, more counter magic. Yeah. Yep. Oh, do you have an answer to the Miner? Presume it's not one that I cannot, or I don't have the ability to counter. But you do need to answer it. Vindicate. A Buried Alive. Do I care about that? No. I actually do not. I'm going to save my counter magic. Although I do need to find a rapid way to win. Like that, we did ditch 2 win cons, which stinks. But I mean, if we ever get a Tassiger or something like that, you know, that should be good. But I'm not going to counter Buried Alive because she already has Gristlebrand in there, which like Gristlebrand is like, if she didn't have Gristlebrand, I would consider not doing that. But to me, it's like, all right, you already have the Gristlebrand. Like, that is one of the best fatties ever to reanimate. None of these really make a difference to me. Like, I just need to counter the spells that get them back into play, if they're not already in the graveyard. I mean, I could obviously see, you know, a different circumstance where, you know, maybe that wasn't the case. I'll play this out. And just keep on getting ahead on board. Yeah, blow up your man land. And we'll start playing this game. Yep, that's cool. I will counter this. And I know she does not know about that card, but why I did that is because force her to use her coalition relic. Yep, that's cool. Start running her out of lands. I think I can get value off Complicate here because of the game state. I don't really feel like that happening, or having that happen. So no thank you. Oh, do you have another threat? Greaves, okay. Oh, I don't want to draw more lands now. Yeah, that's fine. Start cutting her mana down. Obviously, she's one top deck away, but we can limit her mana to an extent. Just getting the dragon back? I'm fine with that. Eventually, I will run you out of lands. Playing this way. Yep, that's fine. And she can't even pop it this turn unless she draws an additional land. Yep. Probably will burn her face here. Okay, land. Assume she takes the 2. Seems more relevant than... Yeah, I think she should cycle here. We'll zap her with the Electrolyze, I think. I think that makes the most sense. I don't think it's liable to get most of her threats. Interesting. She doesn't take the 2 damage. I think it would have made sense to cycle the dragon off here. Okay. 2 to you. Well, and there's a threat. Counterspell would be the best. Not a counterspell. A land. But we can set up our top deck and possibly set up... Alright, that's not a bad one. I'm going to leave that on top. And I'm going to blow up this land. Oh, Moto, come on. There's a legit threat. Preordain should be good, I hope. Miner has been doing some work this game, as is evinced by her graveyard. 1, 2, 3 on that guy. Well, okay. Can't do much about that. Good top deck. But you have an Eternal Dragon and I have a real threat. Okay. I think I'm going to bottom both these. Well, not what I wanted to see there. Definitely drawn quite a bit of land this game, but we are 67 cards deep. Neither of those two cards were good, so I'm not going to crack the fetch here. Yeah. I mean, maybe Bolt was keepable because it put it down to a 2-turn clock. Maybe that was worth consideration. I don't know. I think I just want counter spells, though. I think that's all I need here. That's all I want and need. She could just go to hardcast something huge here. That'd be good for us. Maybe just a Wrath? Well, I don't think you tap your Coalition Relic here, but could be wrong. Well, what have you got? It's a reanimation effect. Okay, well, we're not going to let that happen. I don't know why she used... Alright, we're just going to hard cast this. Don't know why she ended up using her relic for that. I think she should not have. Maybe she wants to cycle her dragon. Been hitting a lot of lands here. Cycle. Yep. Yep, sure thing. Guess she was tapping out anyways. Okay. Yep, land. Buy time. And F6, I got nothing in hand. Did you draw something good? No, you're just returning your Eternal Dragon. Cool with me. Now I wish I'd kept that Lightning Bolt. Okay. And here what we do, I think, is we just keep up Kolaghan's command. And we can, at instant speed, return the Hulk, the Torrential Gear Hulk, to counter something. Which makes this pretty strong. I'm going to let her use her mana first, though. Okie doke. I actually don't care about that, do I? Nope. Oops. What's your last card? Or just Eternal Dragon? Oh, that should be the game. Oh, there's another counter spell. That was a grinder. Alrighty. Well, we got the first round. Alright, so I think we want this. I think we want this. Don't really have a lot of good answers to reanimation. We just gotta counter it. I think that's about it. I do think we bring in those cards, though. Stop manipulation, counter spells. I don't know. You know, honestly, I think the deck may just be fine how it is. What's actively bad? Toxic Deluge is not actively bad. Like, most of this seems pretty good against a reanimation deck. Alright, let's just submit it. I think we're going to run it how it is. Painful Truths could be right. And I wonder who won the aggro v aggro matchup, because our games are definitely going to last longer. I would assume Dots got him. But I don't know. Goldie could have gotten him. White Weenie can definitely have those draws where you just can't lose. Bet you win the die roll game 1, which it looked like he did. Although his start was not very aggressive. Of note. Of note, I definitely am glad I have Dismiss over a Kalitas, in this matchup specifically. Okay, this is a good hand. We're going to keep this one. And your go at it, Michelle. You could get any turn 2 play. She could make us discard here, but then her decision needs to be between... Okay, a Preordain. Counter Squall is going to be good. I think if I can get to mana, Mystic Confluence will be. Liliana is kind of dubious in this matchup, I think. Because I really don't want her discarding. And all my cards are pretty much gas. So the question becomes, like, do I make her discard here, or do I just leave up Snare? I think I'm going to go for the discard. Be active. Although it's going to feel pretty bad. Yeah, your hand does nothing. Hand does nothing. Not going to make you discard a fatty. You can cycle your other fatty. Did you draw a 2-drop? No, okay. Well, we'll just start building value here. And actually, with Gurmag in hand, Liliana is looking quite a bit up. Although I'd prefer... What do you have? A Think Twice or something? Tainted Pact? Oh, just this thing. Yep, that's fine. You got your first fatty in the yard. I've gotten rid of your only reanimation spell, and you have another nonsense card. I think an Inkwell Leviathan in hand. Does not seem great. Well, that card is going to eventually kill us. Alrighty, well, pass it. Got nothing to do. She could just fire up her Creeping Tar Pit and kill us. Or try to. Although she has to be leery of creature kill. I mean, it doesn't. There's a lot of creature kill in this deck. And I would trade off creature kill just for that card. Okay. Yeah, she respects it. Especially on a full hand. I almost don't mind discarding here. Although I would rather draw land. And I do. Cool. I'm just going to keep on passing it. Like, I'm not in a rush here. As soon as she starts firing up the Colonnade, or the Creeping Tar Pit, then I will start presenting threats. Okay. Well, eventually she could just hardcast stuff. Well, not a great draw there. Gonna ditch that. Yep. Wouldn't mind drawing some creature kill, like a Terminate or a Go for the Throat or a Diabolic Edict here. This will suffice, though. You can get in for 3. Or just keep on going for lands. Eventually, I'll get out of this land. She's drawn a ton of lands, which eventually is going to benefit her, but I think mana-flooded opponents tend to lose more games than mana-screwed opponents, and we are certainly mana-screwed here. We have not hit well. We're just going to see a... What are we going to see here? An Eternal Dragon? That's cool. I will memory lapse that. She could just attack me. Yeah, you can draw that again. I'm pretty happy knowing that's your draw. I think I'm just going to wait. I have Exclude, which would be nice to use Exclude here if she tries to recast it. More land, huh? Well, she's definitely landed. You got the lands. And now the Creeping Tar Pit is nullified by the Grim Lavamancer. Hoping to get an Exclude in here. No? Well, I'm not going to use the Grim here. I want to leave my graveyard intact. What do you have? Okay, she is going to go for it. Cool. That's kind of what I wanted to see. Well, that's cool. I dissolve. Well, we cannot seem to draw lands here, huh? No, I'll continue to leave mana up. I don't want this card. That's odd to say. I don't think I've ever thrown a Liliana away before in my life, but I'm going to throw it away there. Yep, that's cool. I really want to get to a point. Okay. Because of the lands I have, I'm going to discard again. I think I should discard that. I want to be able to leave up the Dissolve, I think, because she's so much mana. Like these mana-based counterspells are not going to be very good here. There we go. There is some lands. Yep, that's cool. You have infinite mana. I would like to get my Mystic Confluence online. You just have a Supreme Verdict. This. What do I think of this? Well, what have you got? Not a 2-drop. Probably a Wrath of God effect. Okay, a Sphinx of Uthun. Well, I can't counter that. What are you going to factor fiction? She keeps Counterspell, a Ponder, and Animate Dead, I believe. Well, we're most certainly in a race at this point. She can hardcast most of her monsters now. This is fine. Yep, a Dragon Lord Atarka. She has Counterspell available to her. You can counterspell this if you like. We'll counter Squall here. She tap out for something else fat. If she does, she'll be able to Dragon Lord Atarka our Gurmag off the board. Yep. We just didn't hit lands this game. That's unfortunate because I think we would have won this very easily if we'd hit lands. I don't think her deck is per se favorite, so we're going to see it on Burial Rites here. She'll burn her on Burial Rites. Couldn't have done anything about that. The name of the game here is just getting as much damage in as we can. It'll be interesting to see because this game does 5, right? I think she's going to get this back. She could just get the Inkwell back. Yeah, this thing does 5, right? I want to say 5 damage. So she'll kill our Gurmag. What do you kill? I would say probably the Gurmag. If she does not, though, could we get her? Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Are you going to get in there? Okay, I can do nothing about that. Well, more land. Well, we're dead to one hit. Our hope is that she fires up her colonnade or creeping tar pit, and we can get her on mana efficiency because we cannot take this hit. So we need to. See what we can draw here. Well, nothing that much is doing us favors. All our stuff's going to die now. She has some fat to cast. Yep, that's fine. Oh, what can we draw? The Dismember, not likely to do it. That is Swamp Walk, right? The Swamp Walk's going to kill us. So, we'll take this pile and concede the game promptly. Because we lost. Yeah, I don't think she saw the Swamp Walk on that thing. Swamp Walk will just get us. I can't get around that. So she gets us, kind of due to mana screw. That's alright. I mean, it happens. Yeah, I think we get her next game. She's just doing too much, cool stuff, I think. Whereas we're more efficient. We don't need many lands to run. But we need more than we had that game. That's for sure. So we'll lose game 2. If we had Reanimator Hate, I think this matchup would get a lot easier. I don't think that's something that I would put in this deck, though. I don't think it's good enough in the deck. A little Batterskull seems kind of marginal. Would I prefer to have, like, a Spellskite? Not really. Painful Truths? Maybe. Painful Truths probably good in this matchup. Just, we're on the play. We'll keep efficient cards. Hopefully. Or we could just get recklessly mana screwed again. Although, I don't think... I have to go back and look at that game. I think we had a pretty high variance draw in our land count, for our land count. Actually, we had both games. So, like, we drew a lot of land the first game. It's very pocketed. And there was this game, too. I mean, it was just like, no land, no land, no land, no land, for like 5 turns in a row. It's like, okay, well... Sometimes you're going to lose that way. Because, I mean, when they can just start hard casting their fatties, like, that's when you lose games. I do not think Pyroblast and Red Metal Blast are good enough. I haven't seen her running enough counter magic to really warrant that. I think I have efficient enough counter magic in my own deck that I can kind of get around that. Although cards like Fatal Push seem kind of bad. I'm sure there's some reasons for it. I mean, she may have a Necromancer's Apprentice or something like that in the deck. There's cards like that could worry me. I don't think she tends to be favored in this matchup, though. I think I'm quite favored. If I play well. I think we played that one all right. I have to go back and look at it. Maybe we had a misplay. I don't know. Yeah, hopefully we can get like early threat backed up by a lot of counter magic. Like Young Pyromancer would be pretty good, I think. Unless she has like, or Dwarven Blast Miner, Miner package again. The Miners, I think, will do well against her. Alrighty, hopefully we can draw well. Yep. There's a keep. Not a fast hand. But it should do alright. Certainly not putting the worm coil engine in the graveyard. Well, maybe risky. Let's see what we hit here, though. Counter magic. Okay, basic land cycling. Actually, not going to plus here. I'm just going to save it as a edict. I'm going to respect the reanimation. We'll certainly put that on top. And I'm going to pass it back. If he face or she face fetters my Leon, I'm fine with that. Should gain a bunch of life. Yep. Drawing a lot of cards. Go. Okay. Well, she unfortunately drew the land. That's really unfortunate for us. As we were planning on force spiking this, that's pretty good for her. Oof. More? Goodness gracious. Well, she's played around force spike quite admirably. Feels like we're probably destined to lose this one, guys. Very unfortunate. Her draw has been pretty solid, though. And sometimes you just draw solid. Can we win this? Is there any possible way? Probably not. Yeah, I think she's got us here. Pretty special draw, though. Well, how do we get her from here? Probably don't. Wow. Yeah, sometimes you just got it. Yeah, it don't matter. You can have all of it. Yeah, she top decked me to the win here. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I think she'd have a hard time denying that. We couldn't have won this with the way she top decked. It's unfortunate. Yep, you got it. She got us. But she top decked pretty much exactly what she needed. That's unfortunate. Oh, that's fine. It don't matter. Yeah, I got nothing. I got counter magic. Yeah, from a hand that did nothing, essentially, after one Thoughtseize, this draw has worked out very well in her favor. From what we saw, you don't have to tap. You can just kill me. Alright, you killed the Liliana. I am dead. I am dead. And sometimes that happens. So, good games, Michelle. And let's report our results. I think we went 2-1 in this one. And report result. And that was a lost the match 1-2. And submit. Verify match report. Of note, I don't think that matchup is favored for. And we go 1-1. And what's the next game? Against ML. Okie doke. And hopefully she's able to continue it and beat Dots, as I assume she's playing him next. Yeah, her top deck whooped our butts. You know, Not only did she hit the land, she needed that one turn, so we could not force spike the worm coil engine, but she proceeded to hit 7 drop, which was castable, into 7 drop, which was castable, and drew her 5 cards. Well, I mean, I gave her 5 cards. It didn't matter really what I gave her at that point. The game was over. I didn't have a comeback from that. Trying to think if there was one. No, the life total was on. Even Toxic Deluge was not an out from that position. Plus, trying to rebuild my threat base with essentially 0 cards in hand would have been pretty abysmal. I guess 0 cards is saying that Force Spike is essentially a 0 card. But sometimes you mise, and when you do, that's good. If you mise well, you'll win. Alrighty. Well, I think we're on to game 3 here. I'm going to go ahead and pause it, guys. And wait for this to start up. Alright, guys, we're live again, and we're playing against ML Berlin. He's on some sort of blue-white deck. This hand is not a keep. Mole. This hand is. I'm going to keep that. Hopefully no turn 1 play. This hand does not interact very well with an early threat. Okay, cool. But it can eke out advantage over a long game. So we have Force Spike, Condescend, Remand. We have a lot of no. Play around Wasteland. The reason I kept the Crumbling Necropolis is because it is my only source of black mana that's available to me. That's a strong card against us. I'm going to play this out. Could have wanted to leave up Remand, but I kind of want to Thoughtseize next turn. My assumption B is going to leave open his mana so he can build up his mana base. Yep. Well, show me what you're working with. Nothing. He kept it on the strength of Dust Bowl? I don't know. Dust Bowl will be pretty good here, though. But it does keep him at mana parity with us. Nothing in hand. Maze of Ith. Okay, well, Dust Bowl is live. You can start blowing up my lands. That's probably bound to be good here. Yep. Yep, what are you going to blow up? Probably the Crumbling Necropolis? Okay. Well, if we want to keep on doing this, we can do it for a little bit. And since we are a Delve base or a Delve fueled deck, I don't know if it's going to benefit us because he has so many lands in hand, and our non-basic count is sure to elapse at some point. Yeah, you probably get the Steam Vents here. Yep. Blow up my man land. Okay. Definitely he can play this game for quite a while. Alright, a Mother of Runes. Counterspell it. Oops. No, thank you. And here's the threat we were looking for. Although I can't protect it here, but, you know, I think we'll be okay. Put on top, please. I'm going to take the 2 here. Well, there's a 5/5 you need to deal with. Now, if you've drawn like a Swords to Plowshares or something, it does have the Maze of Ith that he can use to fog it out. Yep, there it is. But if he wants to continue to blow up my lands, well, okay, protection from critters. Well, you got a clock. I'll eventually find an answer to it, though. Seven-turn clock. And he Dust Bowl me again. No. Bribery. Interesting. You know what? Here, I kind of like my top card. I'm just going to Force Spike this. Punished a little bit by using the Dust Bowl. And if we get to resolve a Batter Skull, that could be good. I mean, he may just Dust Bowl us again. Well, Dust Bowl is mana intensive. Okay, well, I'm presuming a Dust Bowl is in our future here. Well, maybe not. Yep, looks like Dust Bowling. That being the case, okay, well, Archangel of Athune. Well, I feel like here I have to go for it. And this could be just dead wrong, but he's on 1 card in hand. If it's junk, well then we can start doing 5 a turn to him. Not going to attack into a Maze of Ith. Wasteland is still our best draw. F6. Oh, losing the Batter Skull. 1 vote for this thing. Okay. It's gone. Yeah, 1 more card in hand. And then get him for your 2. At this point, we are not winning the race, even if we blow up the Maze of Ith, though. So we do need to find a way to kill the Commander Esha. That is not it. Really, here he just needs to not play spells. I don't think he wants to play into counter magic. Probably just Dust Bowl me. Yep. Yep. Well, what do we get to remand here? Or is he just going to Dust Bowl us? Yeah, no thanks. But I can't beat that card. If that card does resolve next turn, his draw has obviously been pretty decent too. We saw his hand from the beginning. Well, that's land. That's not helpful here. And that's land. Do we just concede here? Yeah, probably. And yeah, we'll just concede. 2 lands in hand. Yeah, not going to do it. So, kind of a bummer. Bummer of a draw. We're going to put this in and this in. I kind of like... No, not Nature's Rune. Do I like this? I don't know. I don't know. What don't I like? Do I need Batterskull? Probably not. Do I need Toxic Deluge? Yeah, I kind of want a way to get back from behind, but you know what? No, I don't need it. I may want it, though. Nah. Put this in. You do like the minor effects? Well... Dark Confidant seems good in this matchup. Maybe I don't want the skull. No, I think I still do. I don't want to cut too many win cons. Duress, no, I probably want it. Fatal Push seems less good. Arc Trail, I don't think he's a heavy creature deck. I'm going to cut that one too. Leaving the cheap burn that can go to face for a lot more damage. I think we're going to run this. Try playing the control. I think we will assign ourselves the role of control in this matchup. But we've not been drawing very well today. Hopefully that can change in this next game, the next couple games. We shall see. Well, this is not a good hand. Alright, this is a lot better. I'm gonna bottom that. Okay, Island. Don't stifle me, bro. Do you have a 2-drop? No. Do I want to draw land here? I don't mind it. Well, that gives us a Fact or Fiction on the following turn. Although I may want to phase it up such that the okay, it's fine. I don't really want any more land. I represent Cryptic Command. This Factor of Fiction should fuel the Gurmag quite well, although I don't have a lot of ways to control this matchup if he just lands something horrendously huge. Nothing. How many counters are left on this? 2? We'll let him counter on his turn if he likes. Well, maybe it was right to let him discard. Are you going to counter me? Okay. Okay. Well, let's start shredding his hand. Maybe. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, a Kithian. Cool. Gurmag Fish in the house. Kidoke. No, thank you, sir. And Diabolic Edict you while you have Caracas down. And get in for our 5 here. A Wrath of God. Well, let's put some in lethal. Lethal range next turn with the Wandering Fumarole. Okay, well, you have Archangel of Thune is available too. But if that's the play that he makes here, then I'll just miscalc it and we'll call it good. Okay. Well, did you draw Swords to Plowshares? Appears he did. Would appear he did. Not Swords to Plowshares, I'm sorry. Path to Exile. I had to have a 1-mana answer to my card. Alright, Dispel. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot he had that. That's cool. So you got that thing. Now you got to block, or you don't have to block, but you go into 2 if you do not. And here I'm just going to leave up the Torrential Gearhulk, because I think for him to win this, he has to play a significantly sized threat. And I can either counter Squall it for the win, or Diabolic Edict, one of his cards. Okay. Well, we're tapping for white mana. Okie doke. Well, solid draw. We know his last card is Archangel of Thune. And I presume the Finks is going to go bye-bye. I'm putting it back up to 6. But I think all of these creatures require blocking. Well, let's see what we're drawing here. It's fine on top. We have force blocks here. You can block such that his Linvala stays alive, or you could try to double block one of my threats. My Gurmag, no, that doesn't work. Okay. Well, that doesn't quite work the way you think it does. You're just dead now? Okay. That's lethal. Because we know you have an Archangel of Thune. It could have blocked so it wasn't lethal, but I don't know. Alright, well, I like the way this is boarded. I think we're going to stay with it. Let's see, I guess their game's over. How'd Michelle do? Is she still on? Let's see if Michelle was able to win. Is this a keeper? No, it is not, unfortunately. But we're on the play. Not a keeper because I don't have blue mana. I mean, if I knew I was drawing blue mana, it still makes it bad with like the Cryptic Command. So we're going to mull this. Well, this is not much better. Land? No, bottom. Okay, well, this has interaction. If I can ever get Bob down, I probably can win. Land? Yuck. I think unfortunately here we have to go for the Badlands. Now we're hoping to get lucky here. We could just lose. Greedier keep, obviously, but I don't want to go to 5. Yeah, I don't like it, guys. Don't like it much at all. I do need to hit land here, and if I do, like the best would be if he like Path to Exiles this thing. You're gonna waste me. Okay. Well, now I'm probably losing. That's probably a good game. That's an unfortunate way to lose, but I think we are going to lose to that. Well, cool. Drew a land at least. Go. Okay. Nothing. I'm going to wait on the Bob. I don't want to just get mised by a counterspell, and Bob is my way into this game. With the counter magic in hand, I can buy a lot of time, I think. Hopefully we can get him to tap out for something, counter it, play the Bob, and he just blew his Swords to Plowshares, which is nice. That I don't really care about. I don't need a ton of land, and once I have it, I think I'm going to be okay. Alright. So we have been lucky so far in drawing a bunch of lands in a row. More land, please. Fetch land. Yeah, if I can keep up the Red Elemental Blast. Well, Moto's frozen, unfortunately. If I keep up the Red Elemental Blast, I'll play Bob this turn. If I cannot, I'm just going to pass it. I think I need to be disciplined about this because I'm not playing from the best of positions right here, although we are both on 5 cards. Well, it's a land, but not one that comes into play untapped, so it's good, but I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna cast the Bob here. I'm gonna wait and be patient and hope to outcard it. Okay, well, a lot of land. I do like the fact that he's playing cards like True Conviction in his deck. So I don't think that card, I think it's truly bad. I mean, when it works, but you're already winning those games. Alright, what do we got? That really doesn't do much. If he wants to dispel this, he can. I'd be fine with that if he had a 1-mana counter. Do I go for it here? I think actually I wait. I want to get value of Complicate. After having drawn the Complicate, that kind of changes things. Because it's not a counterspell in true fashion. Tap them all, man. There you go. Perfect. This is not a spell that I really, per se, care to complicate. But I'm fine doing it here because it's value. I think I'm going to leave up counter magic from this point. Just because, like, at end step, I can still Vendilion click if he does nothing. And if I get to dissolve something, that's just a lot of value. He could blow up my land. Well, show me what you're working with. I actually care more about that card than I do any of the rest. She's got mono fatties in hand. And deprive. Well, we gotta hurry up and kill him. Okay. Dubious card to give to me. Yep. As expected. No, Maze of Ith. That's extremely annoying. Could just kill ourselves. Hopefully we don't. Well, looks like we may be well on our way. Luckily, I'm no coward. Gosh, that would stink to die to our own Bob, though. We're taking 2 more here. Nope. I'll gain some life. How daring are we here? Can we hit removal is kind of the question. Well, come on, Moto. Help me out here. Give me the answer to my own Bob. Well, one time, Archangel of Thune out of his hand. Nope. Wrath of God? Okay, that's fine, actually. We can beat that card, I think. Yeah, take the 5/5, that's fine. See if we can get him from 1. Going critical mass here. And Vendaloin click. On you, good sir. Hopefully no Wrath of God in hand. And I can go to the bottom. Yeah, gain a life. And what'd you draw? Problem with bouncing Vendaloin click is this. I guess you could counter it here. Yeah, okay. You got it. Maybe I should have suspended the Ancestral Visions last turn for that reason. Good games, man. Well, as predicted, 2-1 finish. And that'll be the last one we play for a while. So submit match report, verify match report. And who won? Who won this event? So Michelle Wong beat Dots. Sweet. Good to see. Glad to see Michelle took it down. 3-0 with Esper Reanimator. I guess Dots takes second. And we take third ourselves. So, cool. It's too bad we missed her match. It would have been nice to catch. And we're going to go ahead and cut it there, guys. That's the game. Unfortunately, we missed Michelle's finish against Dots. Would have liked to catch that. I think it would have been an interesting matchup. Oh, stop. Oh, okay, yeah, he's changing up. All right, guys, we're going to cut it here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and take care.